himself.
What's good, everybody? Let's talk some Tampa sports. We are now 2 weeks from this day to the draft, to the first round of the NFL draft. So what does that mean? We're doing another mock draft today, the second on the channel. Go ahead and throw up the first one that we did last Thursday. It ended up being very secondary heavy. Got a stud in the first round in Mike Green, but a lot of secondary after that. And as badly as I wanted a linebacker, I didn't want to reach out for a linebacker, and none of the trades really worked in our favor. So that's just kind of how it fell. But the grade I got was an A. It doesn't really get much better than that. So overall, I think it went well. I guess we'll shoot for the A+ today. I think as long as we're A-, A+, we're doing fine around here. I mean, that's what we're shooting for. So let's go ahead and get this mock draft started. Because I didn't go linebacker until the 7th round, I promise I do believe that is a top 3 need for the Buccaneers, that corner and edge. I'm going to make sure I get a linebacker in either the first or the second round. That is a stipulation. I have to do it regardless if I really like the options available or not, just to make this a little bit tougher. So, draft starting now. We'll go ahead and look at who went off the board before us, and we will make our decision from there. So Jahad Campbell, top linebacker, goes 13 to the Dolphins. I did not expect him to fall to us. Mike Green, the guy we picked in the first round last time, goes 15 to the Falcons. Don't love that. Will Johnson, very solid corner, goes 16. Ezeraku goes to the Bengals. And then the second best linebacker goes to the Seahawks. So that puts us in an interesting situation here, for sure. And that's trying to decide what to do. Malachi Starks is an option here. We've talked enough about him on the channel. 3-year starter. Can fit right into the Bucs defense. Allow Todd Bowles to do a bunch of things with him. Isn't my favorite first round pick option, but if the Bucs do end up getting him, I will be happy with it. There are guys that went right before that I would hope that falls to the Bucs, but in this situation, it didn't. And with our stipulation that I have to get a linebacker in the first or second round, it's looking like it's going to be second round because there's no more linebackers. First round talent worthy. So other options: Luther Burden III, Mecca Ibuka are there. There have been talks directly from Jason Light and Todd Bowles that they are still very much looking at offense in this draft. Could be smoke and mirrors, but it is what they said out of their own mouths. So I guess we'll give a little bit of truth to that. I do think it's lying season. It's 2 weeks before the draft. This is what you do. Kenneth Grant, it's an okay option there. What are my trade options? Because I'm not in love with anything. My favorite guy here would probably be James Pierce Jr., who I am a fan of. There's production there, and there's a lot of athleticism. It's not like he's just this freak athlete who doesn't produce. No, he produces. Basically a 90 in his pass rush grade. Solid run defense grade there too. And you look at over the last 2 seasons, he has 21 sacks in the SEC. Not bad at all. Pierce is the kind of athlete with the production and disruption scores you don't let get out of the first round. His twitchy movements show difference-making NFL traits that can be situational at worst and all-pro at best. 6'5", 240, just 21 years old. So where do they have? They have him ranked 23. The average draft position is 25. Okay. I think we can work something out here. Chargers are looking to trade with us. Next pick is 22. If we decide to trade with them from there, would be the Philadelphia Eagles at 32. I definitely don't want to go that far back. But I do think we can still get my top guy on this board at pick 22. Because looking at the needs, The Broncos don't have an edge need. The Steelers don't have an edge need. And then that's the Chargers pick right there. So 19, we'll give them 19. We'll take 22. We won't be able to get a second round pick. But looks like we'll be able to get a third round pick just to trade 3 spots. And I am here for that. Now, here's to hoping that James Pierce Jr. doesn't go in the next 3 picks. And he does not. Even Malachi Starks is still there. Wow. Okay. So, this is the insane person that I am. Could we trade back again? The Detroit Lions have picked 28. Do I think James Pierce Jr. could be there at 28? Who has an edge need? The Packers do, but their biggest need is wide receiver. There's still Luther Burden Jr. and Emeka Ibuka. And the Ravens have an edge need. But their top need is a guard. They might grab James Pierce Jr. How crazy do we want to get, guys? Do we want to get real crazy and trade back twice in the first round? Or do we want to just take James Pierce Jr. here? Or we could take Malachi Starks. Let's see what they are offering. We can get another third round pick. %21 chance to get their second round pick. I'm going to just shoot it at them. Probably gets declined. It does get declined. What about... I don't know what's going on. Can we get 102 and 130? To move back 6 picks. And wow, we got ourselves a lot of picks. And we are doing this. We are doing this, ladies and gentlemen. With the 28th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select edge James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. Did that work out perfectly or what? We have picks. Okay. Now, looking at the board here, I love Kevin Winston Jr. You guys know that from my last mock. Absolutely love what he has there. I think he's a first-round talent. Just was injured last year. That's the only reason he's falling. It does look like Kevin Winston Jr. is shooting up the Pro Football Focus boards, and just talks with him around the league. It seems like he's not going to go in the third round where we got him in our last mock. But if you guys remember, we have to take a linebacker in the second round. And even though we have 1, 2, 3 third-round picks, I said I have to get a linebacker in the second round. So that leaves us with Demetrius Knight Jr. and Carson Schlesinger. Let's just go make sure that's all we're looking at here. Chris Paul Jr. is an option as well. I do think we might be able to get Chris Paul Jr. This is one of those things where I would like to take Kevin Winston Jr. here, but I put a stipulation on myself for some reason. So, just to lay it out, because I don't want people to be like, how do you not take Kevin Winston Jr.? I have to take a linebacker. But in a perfect world, I would take Kevin Winston Jr. here and hope that Chris Paul falls to me in the third round, and then that's a dream scenario, first 3 picks in my opinion. But I'm going to go Carson Schlesinger, Demetrius Knight Jr. I think he has a ton of experience that would be great for the Buccaneers, because that's what they need, is someone that can get a healthy amount of snaps right now in the middle of that defense. He is 25 years old, though, so after his rookie contract, he'll be approaching 30 immediately. And I do think with the position he plays, it is a negative, unfortunately, with I mean, you can see, obviously, quarterbacks play forever. There's some tackles that can play a pretty long time. There's some receivers that can play a pretty long time. Often, linebackers do not play a pretty long time. Levante David is an exception. Carson Schlesinger, on the other hand, is younger. Schlesinger is light for an NFL linebacker, but his elite processing speed and intelligence give him starter and impact ability at Mike or Will linebacker for a 4-3 defense. I do like what he would be able to do for the Buccaneers. 6'2", 225. They say he plays like he weighs 240. I expect him to put on that weight during training camp anyways. I really like what he can bring. Run defense there. Coverage is there for a linebacker. Pass rush grade even, being able to shoot the gap, get in the backfield, tackles for loss, and as a blitzer. We know what Todd Bowles loves to do with his linebackers, and Carson Schlesinger is that guy. So we're going to. With the 53rd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select linebacker Carson Schlesinger out of UCLA. Goodbye, Kevin Winston Jr. I'm sorry. But I'm happy with the pick. I am happy with the pick. Now, what would be really interesting here is if we see Chris... With the 84th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select safety Kevin Winston Jr. out of Penn State. What? Yeah, we're killing this one. We are killing this draft. And it's already our turn again. Just 2 picks later at pick 86 because we decided to trade back twice in the first round. So now we got some options. We need to look at corner. So we've secured an edge rusher, we've secured a safety, and we've secured our linebacker, which was the stipulation. So we're free range now. Let's look at cornerback. Some solid options here, but they're all options that I believe will be there later in our final pick of the 3rd round. So what do we do? Dorian Strong, let's just look at him. He has been on a top 30 visit with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is something to note. Man coverage grade, not too great. Run defense grade, okay. Overall coverage grade, pretty solid. Zone, pretty solid. 6'1", 185. Has some good size there. 23 years old. Strong. All right. Strong, ironically, lacks some strength in press man coverage and run defense situations near the line of scrimmage, but he's smart, competitive zone scheme cornerback with a natural ability to get his hands on passes and cause constant disruption at the catch point. Not bad at all. Jacob Parrish is more of a slot guy, so I'm not going to look too deep on him. Noah Williams and Kobe Bryant are probably my favorite guys here, and I do think I'll be able to get them at our next pick, which would be 102. So, what do we want to do? Wide receiver is always an option. Jalen Royals. I haven't looked at wide receivers this early in the draft, so not too familiar with Jalen Royals. Looks like he has good grades here. Let's look at his production. So 81, 55 catches, 840 yards, 6 touchdowns. Look at 2023. My goodness. Okay, he only played 7 games in 2024. That's why. 2023, 13 games, 1,000 yards, which in college, by the way, is not easy to do. 15 touchdowns. Royals may lack difference-making NFL athleticism, but he is a strong possession receiver who can line up anywhere with plus after the catch ability. I mean, that description is giving a little bit of Chris Godwin. I don't think Chris Godwin is the most athletic guy out there, but very strong possession receiver who can line up anywhere with good after the catch. I think that sounds like Chris Godwin. 6 foot, 200 pounds, 22 years old. That's an option for sure. So it looks like he is not going to be much of like a vertical guy, but does look like a pretty good receiver option. Kyle Williams, obviously we looked at him last time, and we did end up drafting him in the 4th or 5th round. It does look like with him being a top option here in the 3rd round, he must have shot up Pro Football Focus's boards. I know they are updating it weekly, so it looks like Kyle Williams is looking to be more of a hot receiver going earlier in the draft, as early as the 3rd round, with his overall rank being 64th. His average draft position is 118, which would be 4th round. Trey Harris, rank 71, average draft position is a 74. Holy. So really good grades. Extremely good grades. A perfect grade versus man coverage. In 2024, 1,000 yards receiving, 17 yards a catch. The year before that, in 2023, 18 yards per catch, and then 7 and 8 and 10 touchdowns respectively. Whoa. 6'3", 200 pounds, 23 years old. Harris projects as an alluring wide receiver 3 type for an offense that likes to push the ball downfield. His route tree and separation rates leave something to be how is it to be desired if you guys are giving him a 95 grade versus man coverage? But he can keep a defense honest with his field stretching ability. Okay. Isaiah Bond, I just saw that he had to bail himself out today because of some sexual assault thing, so I'll stay away from that. Interior defensive line, Jordan Phillips could be a good option there. Looking at edge again, not anything there. I think I'm going to go Trey Harris. Went Kyle Williams last time. I really like what I'm reading about Trey Harris, him being 6'3", field stretcher, fantastic against man coverage, has consistent production over 3 seasons in the SEC. I like our option there. With the 86th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select wide receiver Trey Harris out of Ole Miss. There you go, Grizzard. You get a weapon. Look, Kyle Williams is still there, too. All right, so let's go to cornerback. And Noah Williams is still there, and Kobe Bryant is still there, as I did predict. I think overall I do like we went Noah Williams last time, I believe. I think this time I'll go Kobe Bryant. I do think I like Kobe Bryant a little bit better. I don't think he was there the last time we went corner in whichever round that ended up being. Has very good grades. What a run defense grade. He is a extremely physical, get in your face type of guy with an attitude, which is something this defense does need badly. So that is a very big deal to me, at least. 6'1", 175. Kobe Bryant, has a top-tier mentality to win at the position. Like I was just saying, he has that dog in him. His length helps him overcome a very slender build, but his lower mass and average movement skills likely limit him to off-zone coverage schemes. That's okay. That's what we pretty much run, is a lot of off-zone. It's hard to not want this kind of competitor on your team, even in a depth role. I am a fan here. With the 102nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select cornerback Kobe Bryant out of Kansas. I'm really happy with this draft right now, guys. We'll just throw that out there. We are in the 4th round now, and we still have 4 picks to go. We have 2 4th-round picks, a 5th-round pick, and a 7th-round pick. We really just are looking good right now. So let's go back to corner. Noah Williams is still there. So we could just double up and get both of those guys because we do like both of them. Let's look at interior. Oops, not interior offensive line. Interior defensive line. Jamari Caldwell. Good run defense grade. 6'1", 340. Caldwell brings intriguing quickness on top of ideal size for an NFL nose tackle. He likely won't be a big backfield presence, but he can be a good rotational nose tackle. This could be a Greg Gaines replacement as a rotational guy. That is definitely an option there. Let's see, Riley Mills. Looks like he had more of a down-ish year, but he does look like a better pass-rushing interior defensive lineman, which I am very open for. 8 sacks last year with Notre Dame. Run defense, not much to be desired there, but the pass rush does look like to be there. Mills is a long and lean interior defender who best projects as a 3-4 defensive end due to his length. He'll need to get stronger in the NFL to be a full-time starter on early downs, but he can be a rotational player right off the bat due to his splash potential as a pass rusher. 6'5", 300 pounds, 23 years old. Ty Robinson. Let me see, what are these guys going at? His average draft position is 221. I'm not dipping back that far. Let's go Noah Williams and double up there, and then hope that Riley Mills is there at 130, which I do believe he will be. I feel like things are going too well right now. Is there something is completely going over my head? We have safety. We have one cornerback. We have our top edge guy that we got in the first round, and we have our linebacker. I don't think there's anything I'm missing here. All right. With the 121st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select cornerback Noah Williams out of California. Back-to-back corners. Let's get it. And just checking things here. Okay. Let's go back to D-line. Riley Mills is still there. And as I said, I do like his size, 6'5", 300 pounds, and being a pass rusher from the interior in a 3-4 scheme. That sounds like... when we know the rotation is coming. We know Logan Hall is going to come out, someone's going to come in. Kalijah Kancey is going to come out, someone's going to come in. And I still want to have a pass rush. I don't want someone who can just stop the run like a Greg Gaines. Riley Mills looks to be that guy who can still get a pass rush at 6'5", once again, 300 pounds. Crazy size there. Let's do it. With the 130th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select defensive lineman Riley Mills out of Notre Dame. Good stuff, good stuff. We are now at pick 157, and Kyle Williams is still there, which is crazy. What do we want to do? I love Kyle Williams. I think this is such good value for Kyle Williams, but we already went with Trey Harris in the 3rd round. So let's say you keep 5 wide receivers on a roster. You got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, Sterling Shepard, Trey Palmer. That's 5 right there. So we already drafted Trey Harris. They're either, moving some things around and having 6 wide receivers on the roster, or someone is getting cut for Trey Harris, whether it being Sterling Shepard, Trey Palmer. I don't know. I'm just, trying to improve that position because of what unfortunately happened last year, where your 2 top guys go down, which is extremely unfortunate, but all it does is show us that it is possible that it can happen, and I don't want to go through that again. Oh, man. All right, let's see. Is there another linebacker out there that interests us? Kobe King. Whew. That man can play the run. Basically a 90 run defense grade. Looking at what he did last year, 16 games played. You look at the consistency. No injury issues there. 13, 13, and 16 games played. Good amount of tackles. Not many missed tackles. Let's see. No scouting report. 6'1", 250. That could be a good option there. Cody Simon. Again, very good run defense grade. Solid pass rush grade. And a solid. Simon is a traditional inside linebacker who would play best in a 3-4 with a fellow inside linebacker next to him. Hello, Levante David. His length and overall athletic limitations likely make him a rotational and reserve linebacker who plays soundly to round out a depth chart. That sounds perfect because we already have Levante David, Servase Dennis. Then you go who we picked in the second round, Carson Swessinger, who is still very young, still very raw, very talented, and extremely good at blitzing, shooting the gap, getting tackles for losses. This can bring you a more sound guy, a more experienced guy. 13 games played, 13 games played, 15 games played, and a fantastic run defender. So this is probably my top guy right now. And of course, linebackers are always key in special teams. So we are at pick 157. His average draft position is 171. That's not too far off. Let's look at offensive line, just in case. I don't really want to look at center. Tackle would be what I go. Logan Brown. I'm going to take this. Okay, there we go. Pass block grade, solid. Run block grade, solid. Zone grade, solid. Doesn't have very much experience. Really only was a starter last season. I assume his measurables are fantastic, which 6'6", 315. Probably very athletic. But I'm going to go with that linebacker and continue to fill out that linebacker depth chart and make sure we have depth in the middle of the field, because I'm not playing with that this year and watching our interior just get shredded because we have special teamers and practice squad guys at that position. So let's go back and with the 157th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select linebacker Cody Simon out of Ohio State. All right, only one pick left. And we are going to speed that up. And here we are. Not looking at wide receiver. You can always use more defense. Ty Robinson is a guy that I've heard of. 6 sacks last year. Plenty of playing time, plenty of experience. The measurables, 6'6", 310. That's beautiful. Can rush the passer, Solid run defense, but I think with that kind of size, you can just plug up a hole pretty much. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm already holding you guys for a lot longer than I usually do. So, without further ado, let's continue to beef up and get some depth. With the 235th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Ty Robinson, defensive lineman out of Nebraska. We better get a good grade. Boom. Another A. Another A, and look how much depth we are adding to this team. Look at the depth. You bring in an edge to sit behind Hassan Reddick, Yaya Diaby. You get you a linebacker. You get you a safety. You get you a receiver. You get you 2 corners, 2 interior linemen, and another linebacker. This really shores things up, in my opinion. I am very happy with this draft, and even with the stipulation of having to take a linebacker in either round 1 or round 2. I really like how this fell. Yeah. Well, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think I did a good job with these trades in the first round? Do you disagree with any of the picks I made? Just give your honest opinion, good or bad. I'm happy to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave your comments down below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Go Bucs, and y'all have a blessed one.